Hi, my friend. It's Pat Sloan here. It is Harrisonburg Day. Harrisonburg, our fundraiser for the Virginia Quilt Museum, Quilt Along, Holiday Hoopla. It is our last block from the sampler we're doing with the blocks in my book. And there's a few other holidays today that are fun ones, such as Respect Your Cat Day. Now, I'm not a cat owner, but I have cats in the family, and I have lots of friends with cats, and my understanding is that cats actually demand respect and you really don't have a choice on it. So I just thought that was super funny. Today, if you have a quilt that has a cat pattern quilt, please share that. I think it would be a lot of fun. No just cats by themselves, ever. We don't put dogs and cats and people in a group without having quilts with them or related to the topic. Otherwise, we would be overwhelmed with non-quilting things. So keep it very focused. But today, I don't really want to see your cats. I want to see quilts that have cat patterns or cat fabric. It's also Mom and Pop Shop Owner Day. That is me. So Mom and Dad, we're not parents, Greg and I, but we are a couple that own a business. And so today, a shout out to all the fellow partners in crime who own small businesses or larger size businesses. So whatever, it is a unique thing to work with your partner, your life partner, your spouse. Probably the same like working with a family member. Okay, so I had to give a shout out to those two holidays for today. Before we go into the different projects, I want to show you my quilt parade for today because my quilts and things are all going off to new homes today. So I want to have this wrap up. And these are three, I have the last three to show you that are a little bit bigger. So this one was done with Morrison Park, and we did it as a quilt along. Turned out so cute, right? Yeah, I love this one, and it's a fabulous size for somebody to use. And I used the blue on the back, the blue paisley. So this is a great size. All these, the other two are actually a bit bigger than this, but this is just a fabulous size quilt. And if you want to see the past quilt alongs that we have done, which are a lot, you can go to I Love to Make Quilts, which is my website that has them all. Okay, this is an older one from an older fabric line. The fabric line was called Nikki, and it was, let's see, do I have a year on here? It was done in 2007, and I believe it was my fourth or fifth fabric line called Nikki. And I did this quilt, which was so fun, so cheerful. I had a really great time designing it and making it to showcase the fabrics. And I know I have at least one friend, Monica, waving to you, that I think she made this for her daughter, who is named Nikki. And on the back, it is not my fabric line because at the time I made this, there was when the fabric was just coming in and we didn't have enough to have backing. So I had different fabric on the back. So that will be going. And then our old school block of the month. I've enjoyed it. I loved working with this fabric, and I loved the backing that I did. So I know that you all remember this from like 2 years ago. So let me see if I can get it. Where's the top? Okay, here's the top. All right. So here was the sampler, and this was done with 11 other designer friends. So we did this sampler, and you visited each of the designers, and then on the back, I did a whole bunch of pieced work, which was super fun. And then my friend Judy quilted it in this kind of orange peel with a flower in the center, which is so nice because there is so much solid for the sashings and everything, and I had kind of a large sashing area for it. So this will be nice for somebody who's a bit taller maybe as a quilt. Okay, we will go and look at the Harrisonburg, have a little tip for you, and then we'll come back here. So I am removing the second border, the second sashing. I'm removing this bottom sashing now on the Harrisonburg. So I thought I would just show you my approach to that, because, you know, we all approach things just a little bit differently, and maybe not, maybe you do this the same way, but if not, maybe it will help you on a long seam. And there are a lot of different seam rippers and different ways to do this, but I really like this clover seam ripper, mostly because of its shape. It is not round. I like this sort of oval shape. So anyway, I've used this brand for a long time, and what I'm going to do is not like, there are ways where you can sort of go along here and pick, you know, either do it like just a little bit at a time. There are ways to hold this so that you can sort of run that seam ripper down through here, and that works for some people. You just kind of, whoops, I'm not getting it right. You just kind of push it and go like this. That's a way to do it. See, I'm always afraid I might rip something. So I decided on this one, you know, like rip through the fabric. So I decided on this one, what I'm going to do is just come, and every so often is I clip the thread on this side. And I'm doing this side, I don't know which is better. Here I can see all the intersections, and on the other side, if I was holding it here, I don't see the intersections. I don't know why, I just felt like it was easier when I was doing this. I did the other side, and I did it on here. But what happens is if I do all of these, and not every one, it's like maybe every fifth one, something like that, and I tend not to try to deal with it at the intersection. I just sort of go to the one right past it, because I don't want to take a lot of time. I want to be fairly quick at this. Also, it is white thread on white fabric, which is a killer. It's like black thread on black fabric, right? I mean, it's hard to see. You need a lot of light. So what I do now is I would do the whole thing like this, and then come to the back side, and it's like magic, because what I do is I kind of get this pulled up. Do you see that thread there? So I get this pulled up, and then I just go along the whole thing once I have it done, and it pulls right off, so that I'm only breaking the thread on one side, the one side here, and then I can just pull from the back the whole way across. And so that is the process that I've been using lately, and I find that it works really better for me than some of the other methods. But, you know, little short ones, not such a big deal. But this is a long seam. This is a long seam I have to take off. And then I have to take either two or three verticals so that I can shift those 2 units around. So that is my task for Harrisonburg, and we are all getting centers put together. If you aren't interested in making the full quilt, you can see on this coming quilt parade, there are a few people who did smaller versions. You could even do just a pillow or a table runner, helping support this fundraiser for the Virginia Quilt Museum by buying the pattern. And it's just fun to do the same thing that everybody else is doing and sewing along. This pillow is also done in my sleepover, and it's in my living room now with all the green springy things. Okay, let's look at the quilt parade, because some of you have an entire top done, including the borders. There are some spectacular, well, all of them are spectacular, but there are very interesting, amazing color combinations on all of these. So I am so grateful for everybody to sharing their work in our community page, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan. So let's take a look at the quilt parade of Harrisonburg quilts. We've been following Adriana's progress on her quilt. She's been sharing pictures, and here they are with the ladies in the middle. Oh, looks so good. I love the fabrics Barbara is using. These are like a dark teal with a limey green, and the centers are all butterflies. And you can see on the right, she has her border in progress. Woohoo, way to go. Carol turned hers all on point. And there's no sashing. So look at how the block makes an intersection. She's got blue, so they make us this blue block where the connectors are. That is just so cool. And then she has a gorgeous embroidery in the middle. I love it. Cindy's progress is going really well. Look at these blocks. They are just beautiful. Can't wait to see it. Diana's has a very classic, the blue and yellow. The yellow is all in the centers and in her cornerstones. That's a whole center done. Looks fabulous. Dolores has her blocks going here. They look like a William Morris type fabric, which I think is turning out absolutely spectacular on there. Look at that. Donna's blocks are all set out. She has a variety of colors from pinks and oranges and blacks and grays, and they look super good together. Here's Donna's blocks. I love these. They are French General, and they look like the same fabrics that I am using for Holiday Hoopla. A lot of the grays, just gorgeous in this block. Look at Jean's. She is going scrappy in her borders. Fabulous. Now, it is just on the outside border, so I don't know. I don't remember if I read that this is the final size that she's doing, which it might be, or whether she's going to do a bigger piece, but wow, that looks great. Jean has a full top. Look at this. Oh my goodness, it is so gorgeous. All of the border is done, and I just love it. It looks a lot like the colors done on the cover of the pattern, the digital rendition. Jennifer's is also a center now, and beautiful. She has a bit of a scrappy board, sashing rather. You can look at that. There's several different light fabrics that she used, and I love the effect of it. And look at that gingham in there. The red and the black and white looks so good. Joyce has a variety of colors as well, with the purples and the blues and the greens and some orange in there. And I like how she has it spread out so that the blocks have a variety of colors in it. And there are some beautiful florals in the middle of each one. I see some, like there's some, it looks like hydrangeas and other big flowers. Judy has a full quilt as well in red and white, and she went super scrappy, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Scrappy in the sashing, scrappy in the blocks, absolutely wonderful. Now Leslie sent me 2 pictures, so here is a close-up of her blocks in these warm and cozy tans and browns and blues, and then a little bit bigger view. It looks amazing. Looks like that's the whole center part. Linda's blocks are so pretty. This is such a pretty fabric line. Can't wait to see more of them. It's going to be spectacular. Marcia also sent a couple pictures. Here are some of the blocks, and look at the fabric she's using. I really love this. I kind of like that picnic tablecloth look of the points on the outside of each block. Here's another picture of it sewn together. Don't they look great? And then here are her border blocks for it. So I think it's going to be it is wonderful, and it just can't wait to see that border on there. Very cool. Meredith has her blocks done, and then she put a fabric border. So for those of you thinking about that option, and I love the scale of it. It looks like it might be maybe a 4-inch wide border, maybe a 3-inch wide. It looks really, really good. Love the blue and yellow as well. So pretty, Meredith. Patty's got border on hers, and it's scrappy. Look at that gorgeous scrappiness. Oh my gosh. Yeah, sort of warm and cozy colors, golds, reds, burgundies, and just look around there. Now, it looks like her sashing, she did not do scrappy. So she has just one cream color, but she did do scrappy all for the border blocks. It looks so good. Okay, a couple more here. Robin's, she has like a rainbow effect, and these are Tulip Pink fabrics because I see the butterfly in the teal section, the 4th row, the butterfly, the parrot. Yeah, so that is so good. So good. Love the gradation of the colors like that. And another robin. First, let's look at a close-up of the blocks. Here they are. Look how soft and pretty they are. This sort of pinks and light blues. And then here is the border squares. So you get a close-up of the fabric. And then the full quilt with the border squares on it. Just amazing. It turned out so good. So soft and pretty. I love it. All right, what do we got here? One more. Tracy's. We'll wrap up with Tracy's. And these are so pretty. That kind of deep plummy color is really spectacular in there with the greens and a kind of pop of yellow. It is looking so good. Thank you everybody for sharing. They are absolutely spectacular. So I do have a clip at the top right of this. When I add the bottom, I will clip its top right, or actually it's top left when it's hanging on the wall. When you're looking at it, top left, I'll clip that one too. And so I'll get that third row on and work between now and next Tuesday to get the entire center done. And then on next Tuesday, we will talk about making the border squares. Of course, you have the patterns you can work ahead as everybody has done. And aren't they gorgeous? All of those quilts, some done. Fantastic. So before I put Holiday Hoopla up there, here is the Stronger Together quilt that has just come back from my local quilter, Karen. She did a fantastic job placing this wave. Look at that. Look at that through the stars. I just think it's perfect. Now my problem is I don't know. Did I buy enough of this to do binding? I think I may have had the peach. I think I may have had the peach fabric for binding. I'll have to look because I'm not sure I want peach. I think I might want that navy. So that just came back. So I will be putting a binding on that and hanging it here to enjoy for a little bit. And then it'll probably go off to a friend that I know that will enjoy it. Okay, I am going to switch and put Holiday Hoopla up here now because we're on the last block and I already have my border done. And so you can do the block and the border this week or just one, and you know, you got to work on the border. They're big half square triangles. You'll get them done fast. But let me put that up here and then I'll meet you on the other side of the table to look at the fabrics to pick the last block. So we are on the last block for the Holiday Hoopla. We are taking 9 blocks out of 9, a block from 9 different quilts and doing the sampler. And so here is the block for this week. The quilt is the Ice Cream Social, and it's a table runner. Now you could actually do a whole quilt of these blocks alternating like this. Do you see how they have the dark in the center and then the middle one has light in the center? It's the same block. It's just rotating the blocks light and dark. And so I am going to do mine like this one. And then the center, I am going to use the brown. So I can bring just a little pop of brown down into this block because I think that will be really nice. And the fabrics will be, let's see, do I want, yeah, I will use the background. I could use some of the gray because, let's see, one of them, I don't know that I have enough of any of them. I'll look at this. I might use this as the background instead. Or I don't think, or this one, if I have enough of it. And then here's the brown that I'm just going to put in the very center. Here we got the block. Just pull this over a little bit. So this will be the center. The background, which will just be these strips. I think I'm going to use this one. I think I'm going to use that one. And then I will just alternate with the reds and maybe, yeah, probably just all reds in here and just keep it that way. Sort of like the shamrock was, just a set of the reds. And I think that'll be good. So I'm going to sew it up and meet you on the other side. The last block. It's always so exciting when you do the last block of a sampler. So here it is. I ended up with the darker one because I cut the wrong one by accident. And I cut them all and I'm like, okay, I will use the darker one. So the darker one, and I love the chocolate in the middle. Let me put it up here so that we can see them together. And it does get a sashing around it, which I'm not doing at the moment. I will do that. And then next week, you'll see it all together. There, look at that. Ah, yeah. So good. This is going to look beautiful in my living room. I think hanging above the couch in the fall, I think it looks fantastic. Okay, remember, this is what it's from. Totally different colorways, right? Here, let me just hold it like that, like a banner. Look at that. So fun. Okay, you also want to work on your Harrisonburg this week, and I hope you enjoyed seeing all of those versions that have been shared, and thank you to everybody who shared their pictures. They are amazing. And your block a day, here is my block a day with the bikinis. Look at them. So cute. All right, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.